Hey everybody, so this week, as we all know, we're raising up our beautiful, talented, and incredible Black sisters in this movement. We're giving them the opportunity to share their truths and their power. So when I was asked to speak, I felt a little conflicted. I know we have a diverse history in my family. If you knew about the history of Latin America, there's indigenous people, and then the Spaniards came over and they brought African slaves. So really, many Latin Americans are triracial, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. So for us, we feel like it's important to acknowledge that history, to give voice to that history. And, you know, when we talk about doing anti-racist work, it's not just about saying the easy softball stuff, right? Like Trump is a racist, right? Obviously. But we got to also look at ourselves. Julia talked last week about needing to do the hard work on ourselves too as a piece of this work, and that can be difficult. So when I talk about anti-racist work and I find ways to step into it, I'm looking right at my own community. Because far too often in our Latina community, and I use Latina specifically instead of Latinx, you can look it up and make your own choice, but that's how I roll with acknowledging gender fluidity in a pronounceable Spanish way. So when we look at our Latina community, there's a lot of times where we perpetuate the exact same system. Internalized depression and internalized racism is a thing. And sometimes I honestly get more upset at my brown and black and indigenous brothers and sisters when they're racist because I feel like they should know better. They should understand what the pain is and they shouldn't want to perpetuate it on others. We have a deeper accountability, I feel like, to not carry that pain forward and to seek to fix it. So I stand here as a representative of LULAC. I've talked to you guys before about the League of United Latin American Citizens. We have a Dayton Council, and we're looking to find ways to collaborate with everybody, but especially to reach across to our black brothers and sisters. If you go to the LULAC Ohio page, there's information on the black and brown agenda and how we're looking to unite our purposes. We're collaborating with the NAACP, and there's some different types of efforts going on. I won't take up time here with that. That to say, go to lulacohio.org, go to LULAC Dayton on Facebook, and you can find information and find ways to engage. I have poetry in my heart, and it's not about me. It's about Julia de Burgos, an Afro-Latina who spoke her truth and spoke about the issues of injustice that she saw in her Puerto Rican community all the way back in the 20s and 30s. She had a piece called Ay, ay, ay de la grifa negra. So I'm just going to share a brief little piece of that, and I will post the entire piece on the YS Speaking for Justice and the Human Project pages so you guys can take a deeper dive into it because I know we're a little limited on time today. Julia de Burgos. Ay, ay, ay de la grifa negra. I'm going to say it in Spanish first and then in English later. You guys know how I roll. Díceme que mi abuelo fue el esclavo, por quien el amo día 30 monedas. Ay, 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 que el esclavo fue mi abuelo. Es mi pena, es mi pena. Si hubiera sido el amo, sería mi vergüenza, que en los hombres igual que en las naciones. Si el ser el siervo no es tener derechos, el ser el amo no es tener conciencia. They say that my grandfather was the slave, for whom the master paid 30 coins. Ay, 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 that the slave was my grandfather is my pain. It's my pain. If he had been the master, it would be my shame. That in men, as in nations, if being the slave is having no rights, being the master is having no conscience. So that's Julia's piece, speaking out and calling out what she was seeing and what she wasn't willing to stand for. And she activated her community in Puerto Rico, she activated the community in the States, and she spoke her truth wherever she felt it needed to be raised. There's another piece. I'm going to post a video of a man performing it powerfully, and he's centering the truth of our women and their value and how sometimes we don't value them and we hide them away, and how that is disgraceful and needs to stop. He speaks it powerfully, so I'll just post that video. I'll give you all a little taste right now. He says it in Spanish, but in like the city people Spanish. And then he says it also in English. It's called Y tu abuela, ¿dónde está? and say it properly in Spanish, you say, and your abuela a donde está? So that's the difference in the vernacular, right? And it means, and your grandma, where she be? Ayer me dijiste negro, y hoy te voy a contejar. Mi maíz se siente en la sala, y tu abuela aún está. Yesterday you called me negro, and today I'm gonna answer back. My grandma sits in the living room, and your grandma, where's she at? Dice que mi bembe es grande y me pasa colorada. Pero dime por la vieja y tu abuela aún está. They say my lips are large and that I pass for colored. But tell me, please, and your grandma, where's she at? You like the foxtrot. For me, it's bruca maningua. You throw it out there like you're white. But your grandma, where's she at? So you guys can check out the rest of that piece on the Human Project page and on the Why is Speaking Up for Justice. It's by Fortunato Vizcarrondo, and he was dropping that knowledge in the 20s too. So we've known about this for a while. We just got to keep carrying the work forward to fix it. Thank you. Oh, one more quick thing. Goya. Goya beans, Goya products, Goya foods. The president decided to come out from, the CEO of Goya came out, and he said, we are blessed to have a president like Trump. So when that happens in my community, we don't play with our food, we don't play in our kitchens, man. He makes my sazon that I put in my rice and beans, but I don't buy his shit now. Sorry for the language, but I gotta call it as I see it. So we have a campaign, Boycott Goya, it's Goya. Goya Away is one of the hashtags that we're rocking to kind of send the message out. And we're just saying, no, you're gonna talk like that, then you got your boots on our necks and we're not standing for it. So boycott Goya, send letters, let them know what you think. They donate to the campaign as well as put the vocals out there supporting it. And we're not having it. So thank you. It's how you can get involved and stand up.